The Indians called this region the Sea of Xaris. They thought that this vast plain, continually flooded by overflowing rivers swollen with sudden summer rain, was an ocean. The descendants of the Guatos Indians are the result of intermixing with the colonizers from the state of Sao Paulo from the south of Brazil. They've inherited their ancestors' skill at moving around this watery world, and they know the region perfectly. Benjamin and his old companion Jose take the little canal to reach one of the isolated lagoons scattered over the wide savannah. There's a whole world of forest fauna has sought refuge, one of the last sanctuaries in the world for wild animals in South America. The two men get ready for a long night's unlawful hunting. They are correros, skin hunters and killers of crocodile. Of all the animals native to this region, including panthers, otters, capybara and blue parrots, the caiman is the most persecuted beast, despite a law that has been in effect since 1964, prohibiting hunting and trading wild animals in Brazil. Rarely measuring more than 2 meters against an average weight of 40 kilograms, the jacare plays a significant role in maintaining ecological balance in the Pantanal. It is the natural predator of the piranha, that carnivorous fish that invades the rivers and creeks. Of these animals are massacred each year by poachers. The Brazilian authorities only admit to some 500,000 deaths. As a signatory to the CITES agreement, the international organization charged with regulating world trade in animals threatened with extinction, Brazil also made an agreement with Paraguay in 1989 to put an end to this illicit trade. But hunting still goes on. An untreated, raw skin, sold by the smugglers at 120 francs, will be sent to European factories at a price of 1,200 francs. The leather, classed second on the international market, will only be used for making shoes.
Benjamin, agora o que você vai fazer com as peles?
Okay, tomorrow I'm going to cut up the skins, then salt them, just these 4 here. I don't know yet if I'll take them or leave them here.
Só desses 4. Não sei se nós vamos levar, vamos deixar aqui mesmo.
And where will the skins go then?
Paraguay.
To Paraguay.
Will it be you who takes them to Paraguay?
No, a plane from Paraguay will come and get them.
Have you earned a lot of money tonight?
A little. One skin is worth 5,000 cruzeiros. I earned 20,000.
Do you know how much they're worth in Paraguay?
No, I don't know. No idea.
In order to inform hunters out in the jungle about an eventual forest police action, smuggler chiefs use a very simple trick. They send apparently banal messages from a radio station in Caramba, the capital of Pantanal. The police are easily fooled by these coded words. With his radio always at the ready, Benjamin can know where, when and how his stocks of skins will be transported to its final destination.
Your attention please, it is now 5:27 a.m. Calling the Rio Negre farm. Calling Mr. Duberto. This is a message from your boss. You must get the bananas ready quickly so that we can fetch them tomorrow morning. Cover them well with palm leaves.
Destampadas bananas, cobri-las com folha de bananeira. Ok? Recado do seu patrão para você.
Only the skin from the reptile's flanks is cut up, a narrow band of some 15 to 40 centimeters in width. The rest of the animal is left as carrion. In spite of intensive hunting, the population of Brazilian jacares does not appear to be under threat of extinction.
Ô, como é? Joia? Já? Já. Ah, lá. Nossa, aí é ligeiro, né? É. É que eu comecei agora, estava filmando um negócio de passarinho. Ah, é? Bonito o movimento.
Hey, there's a lot going on here. I've never seen this
Eu
before.
nunca tinha visto.
I've never seen a caiman skin being cut up in my life.
Do jacaré.
Are there still a lot of caimans here?
Se tem?
Oh yes, there are really a lot.
Bastante.
They all gather together in this rather isolated creek, and so we don't hunt them. They stay there until the water goes down, then they slip out to the river where there's more depth.
Até a água sumir, aí eles esparramam também. Vão procurar rio, água mais funda, né?
Weren't there more caimans in the past?
No, about the same. As far as we're concerned, they haven't decreased in numbers. Anyway, I've never heard anyone say so.
How big is it?
From 85 centimeters to 1 meter. Second choice is 85 centimeters and top quality is 1 meter. Caiman hunting was already happening when I was born, but it's always been prohibited in Brazil, while panther, wolf and paivara hunting have always been allowed.
People say that they come together in their thousands on dark nights in the lagoons.
Yes, there are thousands of them. If you kill 200, when you come back the next day, there are absolutely none left. They've all disappeared.
It is difficult for the Caramba Forest Police to fight against smugglers who cover the 1,200 kilometers of frontier between Pantanal and Paraguay. They have almost no resources, and out of 62 men, only 15 are sufficiently trained for this type of operation. They only manage to catch an average of 4,000 skins. Illegal hunting earns smugglers some $60 million a year, largely benefiting Paraguay. A member of the CITES agreement, this country has become one of the leading skin exporters in the world, despite the prohibition in place since 1975. Officially, there are no more tanneries in Paraguay. It takes a Cessna half an hour to reach Caramba and land on a clearing chosen by Benjamin's chief near a remote farm. The pilots often run high risks when taking off in aircraft overloaded with hundreds of skins. They're always bound for the same destination, the Paraguayan tanneries. Despite the law condemning correros to 3-year prison terms, the police often prefer to confront the armed bands and shoot to kill. When by chance they arrest malefactors, they are released a few days later due to the strings that the smuggler chiefs can pull in high places.
During this period of floods, there is much less hunting. It's harder for us to arrest them, but we managed to spot them by observing the urubu birds that hover over their camps. When we get close, they hear the sound of our engine and they usually escape with their weapons.
Caramba is a frontier town with a population of 80,000 set on the riverbank. International navigation lanes encourage the illegal departure of goods. There's no border and almost no checks, and contraband always passes through this point. The contraband comes in many guises: wild animals, cars, soja and drugs, and the leading organizers of this traffic live there too. In the evenings, in certain of the portside bars, the men are waiting. The chiefs come here to recruit their hunters and to set up their operations. They are all on police files. Mr. Marisco is a well-known and respected buyer. He alone sends more than 800 skins to Paraguay with each delivery. Mr. Marisco, how many people work for you?
About 8 to 12 men.
Have they already had problems with the police? Have they already been arrested?
Not at first. Everyone takes care of himself around here. Landowners, for example, say they are against caiman hunting, but in fact things are rather different. If I have never had any problems in 8 years, it's because I have hunted in agreement with the farm owners. I would come with my men, and they would do their job, and I would pay them a percentage per man for each caiman killed. In 1988, I had a serious problem. I was going to load some skins in a farm located on the Rio Paraguay. I was aboard my plane when the police arrived. I just managed to take off, but the police arrested all my men on the ground. They didn't tell the police anything, though. The police wanted to know who the plane belonged to. and what the pilot's name was. My men didn't say anything, just that the pilot and the plane came from Paraguay. We do the same thing each time. If you're arrested, you don't tell on me, and I get you out of prison immediately. So the next day I went to Paraguay to get my money, and I deposited it on my lawyer's account. My men arrested Monday at 8 a.m. were released on Tuesday at 3 p.m. As long as there are buyers in Europe, hunting will continue. When there are no more buyers aboard, hunting will stop here. With nothing left to sell, why keep killing? The police will never manage to stop Caiman hunting in the Pantanal.
Uncontrolled forest clearing carried out at the headwaters of the Taquari River to plant soja causes tons of sand to be loosed into the river. This tributary of the Rio Paraguay regularly floods the lands of Benjamin's village, destroying crops, pasture lands and roads. Benjamin is the one left of a family of 4 children who continues hunting illegally to keep his mother and young cousins alive. Everyone else has gone to look for work elsewhere.
There used to be a lot of hunting here, but it's nearly all finished. It ended gradually since you needed to go further and further afield to escape police monitoring. No one will manage to sell any more caiman skins to Paraguay after the agreement that has been reached. The police has never killed anyone around here because they never found anything. But over there, further away, yes, some of our friends have been killed. They killed a young kid who tried to run away when he saw the police approaching.
But what alternative was there for a young boy of 17 who learnt it all from his father before dying from a police bullet? How many caimans have you killed?
Between 1,000 and 1,200 a month, working with 3 or 4 companions.
Ia direto para o Paraguai. Entregava na Bahia Negra. Entregava para o Paraguai, lá na Bahia Negra. E daí que era transportado para Assunção.
On his farm, Olis d'Agua, Dr. Elias breeds jacares. The Brazilian Institute for the Protection of the Environment allows him to kill 1,500 reptiles a year to export their skins to Japan. There are also plans to market the meat. Elias takes the eggs from their natural habitat, where they would in any case have been carried away by the flooded river. Using artificial techniques, he hatches 90% of them, far more than nature would produce. A 35-centimetre skin from a 14-month-old animal sells on the international market for $250. His secrets include special air conditioning and feeding based on cow innards.
Here's a skin I cut myself. We can compare it with a skin worked on in one of the best Italian tanneries. The result is practically the same. The whole of this skin can be used. There's no bone, especially on the stomach part. It can all be used, even here on the sides of the back. Our work is aimed at preserving the Pantanal. We want to develop the natural resources in Pantanal in a rational way, without causing the disappearance of species. And we are trying to get rid of the smugglers. Using our technology, which also down the development of the bone but causes no genetic changes, we can develop a very different type of caiman in its own natural environment. We can produce a classic skin completely different from those sold by the smugglers. In this one, for example, the bones are quite visible and the skin breaks completely. Only the flanks can be used. It's just bones.
Apenas o colete. Consegue-se o curtimento apenas desse flanco, porque o dorso é puro.
2/3 of the skin sold in the world come from the illegal market, and this shows how important that trade is and how much power those involved in smuggling in Brazil have. There are huge interests to be had.
E o grande interesse, logicamente, a quem está ligado a isso.
There is enough external pressure brought to bear in Brazil for the market to continue indefinitely.
Influenciando dentro do próprio Brasil.
There are a lot of people there who gain considerably in keeping illegal trade going. As long as the market exists, those people will earn a lot of money.
Deste mercado clandestino.
Unlike the Amazon, where zebu breeding is gradually destroying the forest, the Pantanal has been able to integrate the herds destined for the slaughterhouses into its environment for the last 200 years.
Penso que cumprir a vida seja simplesmente compreender a marcha. In
this 15,000-hectare farm, the vaqueros, the Brazilian cowboys, often manage to find a little extra money from illegal hunting. In one night they can earn the equivalent of their month's salary, as much as Benjamin can. He stubbornly refuses to work for a fazenda. In spite of themselves, the breeders risk eventually being involved with Caiman poaching. As the main activity in the Pantanal, breeding is now under threat. Erosion of the rivers is putting the rich pasture lands of this green region in danger. 500,000 head of cattle died from drowning last year. Discouraged by such events, the breeders run the risk of getting more and more deeply involved in the wide-flung smuggling net.
The most important measure to be introduced is a federal government aid package to stop the erosion of the rivers. We need a large enough budget to be able to dredge the rivers and plant a curtain of trees along the banks, rewooding at the headwaters and build dikes to direct the flow.
This country that knows so well how to combine minerals with plants and a love of life with a keen awareness of the unavoidable gravity of existence considers its natural resources to be inexhaustible. Brazil does not take steps to control illegal hunting in an efficient manner. The tuiwiwi, a giant stork and the symbol of the Pantanal, gathers sticks one by one when it builds a nest. If a stick is not used, then it is returned to its rightful place in the natural world. Just as this stork instinctively knows how to preserve its habitat to survive, Brazil needs a rigorous ecological policy to protect its environment and its fauna before one of the last natural paradises of South America disappears forever.